Hi everybody, welcome to Sandy Treasures Inc. Today you're watching the second part of the bottle octopus, and I want to offer a little bit of an explanation of why is it that I did this bottle octopus, what inspired me to do this bottle octopus. And if you have been following me for a little bit, you know that the environment is a big deal to me. And it was recently that I actually found out how much pollution is going into our oceans. And honestly, I find it amazing that this is what's happening today, and today's, with all the information and all the social media and all the knowledge that everybody has, even in third world countries, I just don't understand why they're using their rivers, why they don't have an infrastructure for their waste, and why are they using the rivers for dumping pollution in the ocean. It's like, come on, we can't do this. This is like shooting our own foot. You need our oceans to, to deliver the ecosystem, to be able to supply oxygen, to be able to provide food for our families, a livelihood for fishermen. I mean, the ocean is life. We cannot continue to pollute our oceans, and I'm just hoping that with this video and with my art that I am actually a contribution to less pollution in our ocean, to more consciousness amongst all of us that live in this beautiful world. Okay, so there's two companies. With all of this being said, I want to mention two companies that I've been following and I've been learning a lot from, and that is The Ocean Cleanup, which is a company that was founded by a teenager, which I think the story is he went to snorkel somewhere, I think it was in Guatemala, and he found more plastic in the ocean than fish. And he thought, why aren't we cleaning this up? What's up with this? And I thought this is great. He didn't see all the obstacles. He saw something that needed to be done. And for that, he is a superhero to me, and so are all the people that work with him. They are superheroes to me. And with that being said, in 2024, they picked up the most amount of plastics from the ocean, more than all the years combined, okay? So they picked up last year 11,000 tons, a little bit more than that, I think, or a lot more than that. 11,000 tons of plastic from our oceans. They removed that, and that is more than the entire, since 2013. Isn't that ridiculous? Isn't that amazing? Okay, so the other company that I follow and that I love is this company called 4Ocean, and they make these bracelets, and you should buy one just because, that's what they do with some of the material that they pick up and they recycle. And they're very diligent about, both of these companies are very diligent about separating the types of plastics and giving it, they have partners, where they collect these plastics and they are being recycled or treated however they have to treat it. But it's not in the ocean anymore. And the longer they stay in the ocean, the more they turn into microplastics. And that is an even harder deal to deal with. That's even harder to pick up, microplastics, okay? So I'm just hoping that you guys share this video and that you and I and we all get a little bit more conscious about our choices. So I'm going to give you an example. Like I told my husband, we are not buying any more plastics, like normal plastics for garbage bags, if we can help it. Okay, there's out there in the market, we can actually find biodegradable plastics, and I'm going to share some of that. Yes, I have an affiliate marketing with Amazon, and I will share the bioplastics that I'm finding that I will be purchasing as soon as I need them. And because right now I'm stocked, I'm sorry, this is like new to me. Okay, I'm not going to wait until I have 10 years experience. I'm doing it right now. It's an emotional, this is an emotional impulse that I'm doing of like exposing myself as an environmental awareness artist. This is a big deal to me, okay? And it should be a big deal to everybody. So another thing that I do, that I've been doing it for years actually, is I have wood combs. And the reason I started with the wood combs, it was because I have a scalp sensitivity. And there's all kinds of reasons why the scalp sensitivity. Yeah, I want to keep my hair. I love my hair. So wood combs are better than plastic combs for people that have scalp issues, okay? And also my brushes, my hair brushes, I only have one, by the way, just one hairbrush. That's also made with bamboo. So I will share these products that I use and the biodegradable plastic bags that I'm planning on using. And also, we can make choices like, no more plastic straws. Paper straws are better for our environment. I found out, don't know, actually, I think it was my sister who sent me a link to information about wearing cottons and linens and wools versus polyesters and rayons and modals and other um, synthetic fibers. So when I found out that this can actually be detrimental to my health, I said, well, that's an easy fix, and I went ahead and wrapped up. I took out about 6.5 bags of tall kitchen plastic bags. Okay, this was like 5 years ago, before I knew that how bad I would have put it in bundles and not plastic bags, but okay, moving forward. So I collected 6.5 tall kitchen bags of my clothes, and I vowed never to buy any more of the synthetic fibers for my own health. And it turns out the other day I saw something about the garment district in Bangladesh, and it showed like a river that you can hardly see because both sides of the river has nothing but synthetic fibers, like what I'm talking about, polyesters and rayons mostly, that are just being dumped into this river. Okay, so bad that the river is just not flowing anymore. It's, nobody can get anything out of this river. This river is just completely contaminated. So that was my change 6 years or 5 years ago with clothes and my toothbrushes and my combs and my hairbrush. And I also do it through my food. I watch more and more. I figured, I'm kind of like sensitive to synthetic foods as well. So I have to watch my health. And I eat more at home and a lot less at restaurants. I used to eat almost every day at restaurants. Now it's like maybe twice a month I go to a restaurant, because usually restaurants will cook with the cheapest products out there and serve it to you at the highest prices. But I'm not trying to complain about everything. I'm just saying, you have to take care of yourself. And by taking care of yourself, you'll find that you will make an impact to our environment. Okay, these little things like not buying synthetic clothes. That will actually imagine if everybody was on the same page and never wanted to buy any more synthetic clothes. Can you imagine how much less demand would be there for synthetic fibers, and you would only find real clothes like made out of cottons and linens, etc. So knowing these things make a big difference in my life, and I hope I inspire you to make a difference in your life. And now let's get back into this project here, which I painted with oils on wood. And this is definitely a little bit on the protesty side, which, as you can see, there's like no life here. The only living thing is the poor octopus that is in the bottle. And I'm thinking that he's playing with the bottle because they can get in and out so easily of places. And then we have this dead seahorse that's holding on to the straw. It's kind of like the last thing that he saw in the ocean, and he held on to it until he died. And then the octopus found something else he can play with, this glove right here. And there you have it. My inspiration is a little protesty. It's what's going on with the oceans right now. And now we're going to talk a little bit more about the process of doing this painting. So enjoy the show. So lately, not only am I doing environmental awareness projects, but I'm also liking the texture that I get when I paint directly on wood with oils. And basically, if you just, put one layer of oil onto the wood, you will have a lot of translucency. And I'm really liking that effect. So the first thing I did, and by the way, I have part 1 of this where I do the octopus that is inside of the bottle. And I just start off with shaping briefly the bottle, the plastic bottle. And I put in what I think is going to be the head and the tentacles. And I put my deeper colors in between tentacles and head and whatnot. And once I have all of that figured out, I start adding the texture to the skin of the octopus and the tentacles, not the tentacles, but the suckers of the tentacles. So some of them are a little bit on the blurry, and some of them are a little bit more clear, because I figure some things are going to be in the foreground and are going to be easier to see, and some things are going to be just a little bit more skewed and in the background of the octopus. So to me, it was, yeah, like you have to think about, like, if I'm an octopus and I'm squished into a bottle, how am I going to look? Well, I definitely wanted to be able to see the eye of this octopus, So the head and the eye is basically the center stage to this picture. And then once I have the octopus kind of figured out, it's all about dressing him up. And that was a lot of fun. It didn't take a whole lot of time either. I did find myself repositioning that tube looking thing that comes from the side of their head. And that was not a big deal because, if you make a mistake with paint, just paint over it and reposition. So it's not a big deal. And I love how oils gives me that, the more oily you have it, the more extension, the more reach your oil paints will have. So in this case, let's say with the white and that darker color that you see, which is not black, it's a mix of like a royal blue and a deep green that I put in there. So it's not black. But anyway, these lines, these fine lines, either you thin it down with mineral spirits or turpentine, or I used linseed oil in this case. And when it came to painting this glove, I had reference, but not, the glove was not in this position. I actually had to make it up, which is okay by me. It's like a matter of tweaking. You have something that you can work with. You can see like, what do wrinkles look like and what does one layer on top of another layer look like. And, I basically make it up as I needed to. And the same thing I did with the seahorse. The seahorse was not exactly in this position. I distorted it a little bit. And plus, I laid him down because I figure if he's not alive, he has no control. And his lifeless bones are basically at the mercy of the ocean's motion. So that's my story with the little seahorse holding onto a straw. And another thing I want to point out is that, let's say this seahorse in particular was a lot more complex as far as the picture of the real seahorse skeleton goes. But I did the details that I could do. I'm not going to spend too much time on doing something that it's really for show. Okay, so if this was a painting that required accuracy, then that's a different story. But this one here, what I did is I basically grabbed whatever I could, grab. And when I started putting my lines, I noticed that, oh, I needed to make room for other lines, but I didn't stress over it because um, what I'm trying to do here is not accuracy, but to express an emotion that I feel to what's going on in the ocean. And I had to stop doing my bottle at one point because I didn't have a good reference to the bottle screwing part. And so I had to look for that particular part, some kind of reference material that I could use for this particular project. And then the final touches was to add a little bit of highlights to the bottle and some shadows as well. And I gave a little bit of attention to the bottom portion of the bottle because that also has some highlights and some shades that actually give more definition to this bottle and make everything look like what it's supposed to be. It's legible. Basically, what I want to do is convey the message, right? So it has to be legible, even though I made up a lot of parts of it. Essentially, there was no exact reference for anything on this picture. So basically, I was looking at about 12 different things to make this composition. I looked at a couple of octopuses, I looked at a couple of bottles, I looked at the screwy part of the bottle, I looked at a glove, a seahorse, a straw, the sun rays coming in, and I just did my own thing, put it together, and there you have it. So I will be leaving in the description companies that I'm happy to give a shout out to because I admire what they are doing for our environment. You will also find my Amazon Associates marketing link for all the products that I do use, and hopefully you guys will get turned on to this too. And of course, please share this information with your friends. We need everybody on board. If it's not with me, with somebody else that's doing environmental awareness stuff, it's everybody's job. It's too big for us to ignore. So please get on board with that. And happy paintings. I hope that you guys show me on the comments, what you've been painting or what have you changed as far as like in your lifestyle to benefit the environment. I love to hear all of these things. And if you happen to know of a product that I could replace in my life that would be more beneficial to the environment, please share with me. I love to know, just like I'm sharing with you guys about the biodegradable bags and about wearing real clothes, not plastic clothes. Because with less demand for materials like polyesters and rayons, there would be no need to create these products in the first place and no need to deal with the issue of like where or how are they going to dispose of them. And I promise the next video is going to be even more interesting as far as environmental awareness art. So I will see you on the next one. Thank you for watching. Bye.